Hi everyone, thank you so much for taking out your precious time and being here with us today. I'm Delna Andorwala from DSP BlackRock Mutual Fund, and we have with us here an independent financial advisor, Ms. Sujal Mujumdar, who's just going to take a couple of minutes to introduce herself. Sujal?
Thank you, Delna. I am Sujal Mujumdar. I run Mujumdar Financial Services. I have been in this industry since the past 10 years, and I'm so proud to have had the opportunity to be associated with this wonderful initiative. Thank you, Delna, for that. And ladies, during or after the presentation, if you all have any questions, please feel free to ask them to me, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thanks, Delna.
So today, we are going to talk to you about an initiative that we at DSP BlackRock Mutual Fund are extremely passionate about. And we hope that by the end of this presentation, each one of you is as motivated and as excited as us to make a start to your financial journey. So without any further delay, let's jump straight into the presentation. It's always nice to start a presentation on a positive note. We should be proud of our Indian women today. All of us over here are working women, right? Each one of you give yourselves a pat on the back because you're doing a great job. You are India's new age women. So is there anybody over here who idolizes an Indian woman? Anyone? Yes?
Mary Kom.
That's a great answer, Mary Kom. Anybody else? Yes?
Indra Nooyi.
Indra Nooyi. Can you tell us a couple of reasons why?
She's a well-renowned businesswoman and she's managing her family so well.
Thank you. That's a great answer. So just like a couple of names that you have given us right now, we also have a couple of names on the board. But this is just to show you that Indian working women are making a mark in every field. May it be politics, sports, entertainment, business, we are doing well wherever we go, right? But just like these women, even you and me, we work hard, we're conscientious, we're focused, we burn the midnight oil, and we make all of this money. But now the question is, what do we really do with this money? Do we let this money work for us? So let me understand my audience a little bit better just through three simple questions. So how many of us over here make our own money and feel financially independent? I know I am, so I'm going to put my hands up. Anybody else? 100% of the room, right? We all are making our own money. So now let me ask, how many of you are making your own investment decisions? Now when I say making your own investment decisions, I don't mean Papa ne bola put my money here, so I just signed a check and I gave it to him. How many of us are actually understanding and making our own investment decisions? Look around, guys. See how the number has drastically reduced. May I have your name, please?
Hi, I'm Shumi.
Hi, Shumi. Shumi, can you tell us, making your own investment decisions, how does that make you feel?
I feel great. I feel confident about the money.
Confident, right? That you're making your own decisions. And I hope that by the end of this presentation, each one of you feel just like Shumi. So now, how many of you feel truly financially independent? Just like in this room, we did a survey to see that only 23% of Indian working women make their own investment decisions. Shocking, right? Everyone is ready to make that money, but to manage that money, none of us take that initiative. So let's understand why women need to start thinking about investing today. So there are both fortunate and unfortunate reasons why each one of us need to start thinking about investing. But one of the most obvious reasons is that women are getting more money in their hands today. Times are changing. More and more women are entering the work environment. More and more women are getting good qualifications, getting jobs with bigger companies. And at the end of the day, now making this money has become the easy process. The challenge is in managing this money. How do I manage this money so that I can secure my own future? Unlike 30 years ago, we see today that women may also inherit money, right, from their parents. It doesn't always go to the sons anymore. So you may inherit wealth, you may inherit property, you may inherit jewelry. Do you know what to do with it? Do you know how to take this money and put it aside in such a way that you are securing your financial future? Do you know how to plan for it? This is a painful truth. Divorce, breaking up of marriages. We hear about it all the time, right? In our families, in society. At this point of time, a woman is so emotionally unstable. What are my in-laws thinking? What is society thinking? What is my family thinking? When you're already in this entire emotional dilemma, if you only had control of your own finances, you would feel so much more confident that I can get through this phase. You may even get alimony. Do you know how to manage that money so that you secure your future? Does anybody in this room know the average lifespan of a woman in India? Anyone? Any guesses? Yes?
65.
65. Anybody else?
60.
60. And can anyone tell me the average lifespan of a male? 70. Anybody else? 75. So the irony in this, ladies, is that the average lifespan of a woman is 69 in comparison to a man that's 67. So most of us may outlive our partners, a scary thought, something we don't want to think about right now. But we may be the beneficiaries of life insurance. Do we know how to put that money away to enjoy our existing lifestyle? So ladies, has anybody over here taken a break in their career? You have? Could you share why?
Because I wanted to be with my family.
Absolutely. Anybody else taken a break? Yes?
Just getting married.
To get married? Congratulations, by the way. So, there are many instances in which women may need to take a break in their career, right? Just like we saw in our audience itself. The most obvious reasons are, of course, to have a child or maybe look after your ailing parents. But at this point of time, if you just planned a little bit in advance, you could actually have a regular passive income. You could not be dependent on anybody. If you knew that in a couple of years I do want to take this break and you plan your finances, you could actually be quite independent at that point of time itself. This slide needs no explanation. All the shopaholics in the room, please put your hands up. We all love to shop, right? Whether it's that new bag or those new pair of shoes, we want it all. But without bursting your bubble, I just want to take you through one of my own personal experiences. So I myself got married this year, and about 2 years back I was in a shopping mall and I had seen this one beautiful watch, and I had decided that whatever happens, I want this watch. At that point of time, obviously I couldn't afford it, so I told myself, no problem, the day I get married I will buy myself this watch. So every month I took a little bit of my salary and I gave it to my mother. My mother in fact is quite a financially independent woman, and she kept asking me, Delna, why are you giving me this money? And my logic was always that, Mom, when this money is with you, this money is very safe. So every month I took out a little bit and I gave it to my mother, and my mother locked it up. Now it was time for me to get married and also to get my watch. So I took all of this money and I went to the mall. Now I had the money in my hands and the watch was right in front of me, but I couldn't buy the watch. Can anyone tell me why?
The price went up.
Absolutely, great answer. So just to introduce you to the concept of inflation. Inflation eats into the value of your money. So just using the analogy of my mother's locker as maybe a savings account, when I put my money in an investment instrument that does not beat the rate of inflation, it is actually eating into the value of my money. So what do I need to do? I need to put my money in investment instruments that beat the rate of inflation. So just for an assumption, let's take inflation being around 6%. So I have to make sure that I put my money in investment instruments that beat 6%. I mean, we always hear people say, right, महंगाई का ज़माना है. Everyone feels it in your everyday expenses as well. Look at something as much as a necessity as milk. Milk was 9 rupees per litre in 94. Look at the prices in 2014. It's 56 rupees per litre. All of us want to give our children a great education, right? Look at the cost of education. And we may still have another 10 years in which we'll need the money to send our children. So to conclude, inflation is the increase in the price of products and services. So we must put our money in investment instruments that help us beat the rate of inflation. Has anyone over here thought about retirement? Arey, retirement to dur ki baat hai na? Why will I think about it now? I have so many other problems to deal with. First I'll deal with all of them, then I'll think of retirement. Now we may not have started thinking about retirement, but we know one thing for sure, that when we retire, we want to enjoy our existing lifestyle. We still want to go out, we still want to eat out, we still want to go for movies, meet friends, travel, we still want to do all of it. But what happens is that typically in India, the moment we're approaching retirement age, or we have already retired, we see that people start feeling that they're a little bit poor. People around them also make them feel like that. This happens in my colony itself. I mean, my own parents, they throw a potluck every month. And in this potluck, everyone brings something. Now, Rita auntie is my neighbor who's retired about 2 years back. And I always hear the mothers whispering to each other, let Rita auntie come, but we'll tell her not to bring anything. Why? Just because Rita auntie is retired, we assume that she can't afford it. Now, when we're young, we have so much time, but we have no money. Then we get fancy jobs and we make lots of money, but we have no time. Shouldn't retirement be when you can enjoy both your time and your money? So let's delve a little bit deeper to understand how each one of us over here can enjoy our existing lifestyle when we retire. So let me introduce you to 3 of our lovely women today. So we have Aarti. Aarti is a 30-year-old woman who's been working for the last couple of years and is thinking about getting married. Her monthly expenses are around 30,000 rupees per month. Then we have Neha. Neha has 2 very naughty kids and she's around 40 years old and her monthly expenses are 50,000. Meet Jennifer as well. Jennifer is 50 years old and she is planning her son's marriage in the next 1 or 2 years. She has monthly expenses of 75,000 rupees per month. So can I just ask, how many of us in this room are between the ages of 27 to about 33, 34? Great, so we have quite a few of you, young women as well. So may I ask you, how much are your average monthly expenses?
30,000?
30,000? That's great. So I understand that each person's situation and financial circumstances in this room will be different. But just so that you can enjoy this journey with us, I request each one of you, depending on the age of women, connect yourself to one of these women and assume that this would be your monthly expenses. Can I get your name as well, please? Monali. So we're going to use Monali's story today and let her learn how she can become independent and how she can create her own retirement corpus. Now let me delve a little bit deeper. So does anyone over here know the retirement age in India? 60. So let's assume we are all hale and hearty and we all are going to work till at least 60. Also, we just discussed the average lifespan of a woman. Anyone remembers? 69. Great. So generally the average lifespan in India is 69. But because we live in bigger cities, we have better social and medical amenities, let's assume that all of us live till at least 80. So we're retiring at 60 and we're living till 80. That is 20 years for which we will not have an income, but we will have our regular expenses, right? As we just discussed inflation as well, let's assume inflation at about 6% on our money. Also, before we retire, we put our money in investment instruments that get us a rate of return of 12%. Now, if you see over the last 20 years, the BSE Sensex has got us an average of 12.9%. So it's quite safe to assume, 12% is quite safe to assume, and also we are not regular investors. After we retire, we want to be a little bit stingy with our money, we don't want to take chances. So we would invest in an investment product that got us around 8%, maybe a fixed deposit, something a little bit safer. So now let's get back to Monali here. Now Monali or Aarti has a monthly expense of 30,000 rupees per month. How much do you think Monali will need, taking inflation into consideration, on her 60th birthday? So when Monali turns 60, because of inflation, this 30,000 is going to go up. What do you think that number would be? Any guesses?
60,000?
60,000? Anybody else?
80,000?
80,000? So let's look at this shocking number. Monali, at the age of 60, will require 1,80,000 per month just as her monthly expenses. None of us even thought of that, right? Now, for her to have this as a monthly expense, during her working years, she needs to collect this retirement corpus. So when she retires, every year, every month, she can take out a little bit for her monthly expenses. What do you feel Monali needs as a retirement corpus? Any guesses?
1 crore?
1 crore? Anybody else? She'll need a big retirement corpus, right? Because she's going to require 1,80,000 every month. And with inflation, this amount will only go higher and higher. And she will need it for 20 years after she retires. Any more guesses on the retirement corpus? So another shocking number. Monali will require 3.5 crore on the day she retires. When I first did this slide with my people in the office, I was so shocked. I said, forget it, I'm not thinking about it. It's such a big number. But what is the irony in this? It's actually very, very easy to achieve this goal. All Monali needs to do is on a monthly basis, she needs to invest 10,264 rupees. Can all the people who said they were between the ages of 27 and 34 put their hands up again? Great. So, do any of you all feel that 10,000 is so much that you all won't be able to put it aside to secure your own future? It's very doable, right? Now, let's look at Jennifer. Jennifer has fewer years to reach this corpus. She needs to get 2.71 crore. But look at how much Jennifer needs to put aside on a monthly basis in order to meet this need. 1,17,561. So ladies, all we're trying to bring across is start early. Start as early as possible. Whether you are 30, 40 or 50, the quicker you start investing your money, you will see the fruit in the future. So let's understand how each one of us can make a start to our financial future. So there are many options available to women today. Has anybody invested in any one of these? Yes? Fixed deposits. Anybody else? Gold is a famous one, right? All of us love to have a little bit of gold. Now these are different options available to you. So you may be wondering that there is one particular bubble missing in this. Does anyone guess what it is?
Insurance?
Absolutely. So insurance is actually not an investment. Insurance is a protection against your own life. So if something happens to me tomorrow, if I am insured, my family can be safe. My family can get the money. But you don't put money away in insurance as a wealth generating process. Now, since we're from the mutual fund industry, we are going to talk to you today about a very simple and convenient product known as mutual funds. So let's understand what is a mutual fund. A mutual fund is money or a pool of money that is collected from me, from you, and it is professionally managed by somebody known as a fund manager. Now, how do we make money through mutual funds? We make money through capital appreciation and dividend distribution. Let's understand mutual funds a little bit better by going through the benefits. Mutual funds are extremely simple to invest in. All you need is an application form and to be KYC compliant. They are also professionally managed, as discussed earlier, where the team of professionals known as fund managers are the ones managing your money. Mutual funds also offer a large amount of diversification. Each one of us have different objectives. It allows you to gain from rising markets. Mutual funds also offer a large amount of liquidity and provide transparency. Every single asset management company has a fact sheet, and you can find out all the details about the product and about the mutual funds by going through the fact sheet. And lastly, the mutual fund industry is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Board of India, commonly known as SEBI. SEBI acts as the police of the mutual fund industry, and it safeguards the interest of all investors like you and me, as well as it ensures that all asset management companies are following the rules and regulations that are laid down. Now let's go through the different types of mutual funds by understanding these funds through our financial goals. So I got married recently and my family gave me a little bit of money. Now I knew that I was going to use this money in the next 2 months to renovate my house. So instead of letting this money remain idle, we have a product for you known as the money market or the liquid fund. Instead of letting your money remain in a savings account, you can put it in a liquid fund for a short period of time. Of course, the risks involved are much less and the returns are also lower, but it will still be better than leaving it in a savings account. On the other hand, I have a plan that I want to go and see the Eiffel Tower in the next 2 years. In the next 2.5 years, I want to go to Paris. So this is a medium-term goal. I have 2.5 years to get here, but still it's not a very, very long term that I have. So we have a product for you. It's known as a debt mutual fund. When you invest in a debt mutual fund, instead of investing in a money market or liquid fund, the rate of return is a little bit higher than that of a money market or a liquid fund, but the level of risk is also a bit increased. So we all may want to send our children to study in the next 10 or 15 years. So it is a long-term goal. We have a good amount of time to reach this goal. we have a product for you known as an equity mutual fund. When you stay invested in an equity mutual fund for a longer period of time, yes, there are higher risks involved, but there are also a greater potential of generating wealth in the longer term. So now that we've understood the different types of mutual funds, let's understand the risk associated with each one of these products. Now, different financial instruments have different levels of risk. Volatility in investment terms is one measure of risk. Has anyone over here heard of the term volatility? Let's delve a little bit deeper to understand what volatility is by looking at a couple of different financial products on a graph over a period of 12 years. So may I have your name, please? Malini. So let's assume that Malini invested 100 rupees in 2002 in one particular stock. We're calling this stock 1 for the moment. Now let's look at Malini's journey. Now Malini looked at her money at the end of 2007 and she was ecstatic because she had made lots of money. Then suddenly she looked at it again and her money had gone right down. Again her money had come up and she was extremely happy. Again it went down and she was fretting. And eventually Malini made quite a bit of money. This constant fluctuation in the price of a stock is known as volatility. Can I get your name, please? Binati. Now let's look at Binati's journey. It's a little bit different from Malini's. So Binati invested in the BSE Sensex. She put in the same 100 rupees in 2002. Now let's look at her journey. Now Binati also had ups and downs. She was happy, she was sad, and eventually she made money as well. But if you see, the ups and downs in Binati's BSE Sensex was less sharp than that of a single stock. But you must be wondering and must be thinking, I might as well invest in stock 1, see how much more money she made. So can I get your name, please? Shraddha. Let's look at Shraddha's example. Now Shraddha invested in another stock, the same 100 rupees in 2002. Let's look at Shraddha's journey. Shraddha also went up and down and up again, but look at where Shraddha landed up eventually. So when you invest in a single stock, the stock could do very well, but there could be a chance when the stock doesn't do well as well. When you invest in the BSE Sensex, because you're investing in a basket of stocks, so imagine stock 1 and stock 2 are both present in the BSE Sensex. So even if stock 2 doesn't do too well, on an average, because you have other stocks in the BSE Sensex that are doing well, it averages itself out and therefore it lowers your volatility. Not to say a BSE Sensex or an index is less volatile. It is volatile as well. But what do you have to do? Ladies, you have to wear your seatbelt and ride the volatility wave. Because when you stay invested for a longer period of time, there is greater potential of wealth generation. So here we're talking about a time when all three of you invested when the market was down. Now what do we do typically? We wait for the market to rise, right? We say market upar jayega, then I'll put my money. So let's look at my situation. Now Malini and me are very good friends and Malini has been telling me for a while that invest in stock 1. I said no, I'll wait for the market to go up, then I'll invest in stock 1. So finally when I saw the market was going up, I put my money in 2007. I thought that the market would go even higher and I'll make lots of money. But look at what happened. The market went down and so did my money. And my husband was screaming, saying, why did you listen to Malini? Why didn't you take proper financial advice? I said, oh God, I waited for a little bit longer and my money went down even further. So what did I do? I got even more scared, so I quickly took my money out of the market. It's typically what we do, right? So this is just to show you that when you invest in a single stock, you are the one who has to do the research. You have to have the knowledge, the time, the inclination. You have to understand, right, which companies will do well, which stocks will do well. Am I taking a chance with this stock? All the decisions are in your hands when you're investing in one particular stock. On the other hand, like the BSE Sensex is a basket of stocks, just like that, there are equity mutual funds. Equity mutual funds are also baskets of stocks. What happens when you invest in an equity mutual fund is that there is a team of professionals known as fund managers, as we just discussed. They have years and years of experience and expertise in the industry. So they are the right people to make that decision for you. Over here, we are talking about products in which people are willing to take a little bit of risk. But each one of us is different, right? Some of us may be risk averse, may not be willing to take risk. For that, we invest in products that are less volatile, like a balanced index or a bond index, where the volatility is much less. Of course, because the risk is reduced, the potential to earn very high returns is also lower. Now, how do we decide how much risk we as individuals are willing to take? Each one of us is different. We have different circumstances in life, different goals. We are all at different life stages. And therefore, I urge you, it's extremely important for each one of us to visit a financial planner and understand your risk profile. Understand as an individual how much risk you are willing to take in the market. After learning so much about volatility, you may also be wondering, how do I measure this volatility? Volatility is measured through standard deviation. If you look on the side over here, without boring you with too many numbers, all you need to know is when the standard deviation is high, that means the volatility is high. When it is low, vice versa. So all we're trying to show you is that volatility is not bad. Volatility can be good, but that's if you stay invested for the longer period. So ladies, put on your seatbelt and ride this volatility wave, and you will see the potential of earning greater wealth in the future. Has anybody invested in a systematic investment plan? You have. That's great. So SIPs are actually meant for salaried people like you and me. I urge you to talk to your financial advisor and learn a little bit more about SIPs and how you can take advantage of them, because they are a very, very disciplined way of putting your money away. So ladies, either by now I've convinced you or I've completely confused you. But for whichever one it is, we are here today to talk to you about an initiative that has been specially crafted for the Indian working women. So let me introduce you to Winvestor. Now, what is Winvestor? Let's learn a little bit about it. Winvestor is an initiative that aims to empower the Indian working women with the tools and the knowledge required to make informed financial decisions. Who is a Winvestor? A Winvestor are lovely ladies like you and me who want to learn more, who want to take advantage of our financial future and take our first steps. And who are the Winvisors? Winvisors are lovely ladies like Sujal, who has joined us today. They have pledged to be a part of this program and to help each one of you in your financial journey. I urge you to visit dspblackrock.com/Winvestor, in which you can get a lot of more information and different content pieces. We also have many educational videos. But the biggest USP of the Winvestor program is a complimentary financial counseling session that we offer each one of you for taking out your time and coming here today. It's a very simple process. Can I borrow your brochure? Thank you. All you need to do is we've given out these little brochures to everybody. If you look inside, there is a little leaflet here. All you need to do is fill out this little leaflet with just a couple of your details and submit it back to us, and you will be entitled to a complimentary financial counseling session with one of our financial advisors. Thank you. So how can you become a Winvestor today? As I told you, 3 very simple steps. All you need to do is fill out the form given to you. A couple of tips and a little bit of advice that we'd like to give you is that when you go for this session, it's very important for each one of you to list your goals. You may have one goal, you may have 10 goals, you may have multiple goals. List them all down. See what you want from your money and what you want from life. After you've listed your goals, we also advise that you collect all the documents in your name. It could be insurance, it could be fixed deposits, could be PPF. Everything that is in your name, you must collect it and you must take it for this session. So you can make the most efficient use of this and they can create a complete financial blueprint for you. And last but not the least, go visit one of our lovely ladies that we assign to you. A little bit about DSP BlackRock. DSP BlackRock Mutual Fund is a premier asset management company. We are a joint venture between the DSP Group and BlackRock. DSP is headed by Mr. Hemendra Kothari, who's been in the business for over 40 years, and BlackRock, which is the largest asset management company in the world. So ladies, just to leave you with an interesting proverb and food for thought, is that when each one of you wake up today and take charge of your financial futures, mountains will move. Just to leave you with a couple of pointers, start early as your first salary. Also, if you stay invested for a longer period, you must have a little bit of equity exposure. a concept that I brought up in the presentation, systematic investment plans, I urge you to please ask your financial advisor about an SIP. And last but not the least, it is not about timing the market, but it's about your time in the market. Thank you so much for your time today. You guys have been a great audience. Thank you. Now I'd like to call upon Ms. Sujal. In case you have any questions, please feel free to bombard her with as many queries as you may have. Sujal?